Yeah, Terry, I mean, if you could give us an update on Sydney, how long do you guys expect her out, and kind of what was the latest that you guys learned this week?
Well, she's dealing with a foot injury. She's out indefinitely. And her status is just going to be updated game to game. So she's in great hands. Trying to get her back as quickly but as safely as we can. So that's where it's at.
Seth.
Terry, and another kind of injury-related question. Charice has been out for a while, been meaning to ask you about this. Just what's her status? What's she been dealing with? And given the little amount of action she's seen, is a red shirt possibly on the table at this point?
She's dealing with some personal stuff, Seth, and don't want to disclose any more information other than that. And we have not discussed any sort of a redshirt scenario for her as of right now.
Do we have any other questions? Anybody want to ask about the game?
We do have a game on Sunday, yes.
Seth, go ahead.
I guess playing without Sydney, obviously, it's kind of you lose a lot but without Sydney, just, the last week of practice or however, I know you said that it happened last Friday, when you played Purdue on Sunday, just now that you've had a little more time to practice without Sydney, just how much of an adjustment has it been for your team? And how are you guys able to fill in that gap of not having Sydney out there?
Well, I mean, it's an adjustment, but it's adjustment we've had to go through before, a year ago when we didn't have Grace. We always look at it in a positive way because, some of those other kids are going to get great experience and time. And hopefully that'll serve us well down the road. But Sid was playing great. Sid was playing great. She was our second leading scorer. She's always provided us with such a great dose of energy and hustle and all of that. So we do miss that. We felt like obviously Lexi came in and provided some really great minutes for us. Certainly Bo and Jules will have to come in and do more. Lily will have to come in and do more to provide a little bit of a scoring punch for us. But I liked how we responded. There's no doubt, how we responded, because we didn't have a lot of time between the time Sid got hurt and the Purdue game. We didn't get a lot of reps, without her. And so I was really proud of our toughness and how we were still able to execute, how we were able to slide our pieces and just do some really good things. So, I think it does become more on Mac. I think it becomes more on Chloe and Sarah and Yarden that they're all going to have to step up a little bit more as well. They're going to have to provide us with, more scoring opportunities. And, we need Yarden to do what she did at Purdue, and that's score the ball more, for us.
Chloe.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a little bit about Lene. She was the only person off the bench to score against Purdue. Just how have you seen her develop over Big Ten play and just generally this season?
Well, I mean, she's improved, but she still has to grow an awful lot, Chloe. I mean, in terms of her defensive, on the defensive side of the ball. We'd love to have Bo out there more because I do think that she can offer us something from an offensive perspective, but she also has to be able to, execute the game plan from a defensive perspective. And, sometimes I think for these freshmen, the game is still really fast for them. And with experience, I think it'll start to slow down for Bo. But, again, a kid that is student of the game. She is in here all the time. She's watching film with Allie Patberg all the time. Wants to be a great player in this program, wants to help her teammates right now. I think she'll just continue, hopefully, to make strides. But, we need those strides to happen faster than they have been.
Talia. Hey, Coach. Northwestern's Joe McEwen had been out for a while and was unable to coach, but I saw that he was back for their last game. Just how good is it to see that he's back and to have him back for your game on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see Joe. He had been out for a minute there. We were able to keep up with Megan. She did a few of our games just with general updates. And so, I think it was just a matter of time before he's back on the sideline. But, he's one of the vets in our league and somebody I sure respect. And, always enjoy spending whatever time I get with him, whether it's on the road, whether it's before the game. So great to have Joe back.
Skip and then Mike.
Good morning, Coach. With the starting lineup this weekend, will we expect to see Chloe on point or Lexus on point? And depending on how that works out, how might that impact the defensive matchups?
Yeah, I don't think it'll, the one thing, Skip, that both Chloe and Lexus give us are great on-ball defenders. I think we're more than comfortable with, whatever assignment we give them. I think we're really comfortable with whoever they guard. To answer your other question about who will play point, we go back and forth. There's certain sets that I like Chloe at the point. There's certain sets that I like Chloe off the ball with Lexi, with the ball in Lexi's hands. So, those are the things that we rep every day, just certain scenarios. But that's a great thing about having 2 point guards out on the floor. You can move them around. We'll continue to do that, but it's nice to have the luxury to do that as well. And so, we're going to see a zone with Northwestern. So, playing Chloe off the ball makes better sense for us in terms of how she's been able to shoot the ball as well. They're interchangeable parts, as all of our guards are, and they need to be.
Mike.
Yeah, Teri, I mean, you guys, you leaned on your starters heavily and you said that, it's all hands on deck, but how will you kind of monitor minutes to make sure, you don't kind of wear everybody out
Yeah.
with Sydney, here in the next couple of weeks
Sure.
out for a while?
Well, Mike, that's a great question. I think one of the things we felt good about, with Sarah and Chloe playing the entire game against Purdue is that we knew we were going to have this week off, so we could roll the dice there, but we're going to have to be careful. There's no doubt of managing both their minutes because they do an awful lot for us offensively, but they have huge tasks defensively also. And so that's where I'm talking about, Beaumont, she has to be better. Jules has to be able to step up to the challenge. Henna we got to get Henna some minutes where, she can help us defensively. And so, you'll probably see us using that bench a little bit more. I would suspect just because we know, this is a big week coming up. Not a lot of rest time in between with the 3 games. And so we have to, as a staff, be super smart about, how we do manage their minutes without question.
Who handles that? Like, how do you kind of approach that? Is that your assistants kind of giving you kind of a heads up?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all pay attention. One of the things I've always done here is been able to give my staff some freedom in terms of substitutions. I very rarely, unless I just, I may say to Rhett, I want so-and-so or get so-and-so out, because she looks fatigued and tired. But it's I've always done that. I've always trusted my assistants to understand sort of, and we go into that with an idea of what we want the rotation to look like. At the certain minute mark, we know we're going to get back out, Chloe, and so it's as we move forward without Sid, some of that's going to change. There's no doubt we're going to have to, kind of get a feel for how we want that to look. But that's how we manage it. That's how we know we're always looking at the stat sheet after the first quarter, after, timeout minutes and so forth. And so, we always try to manage that as well as we can. But in some instances you can't, right? You rely on your veterans, you rely on that experience in those close games. And then what I always try to do is if I can, I pocket my timeouts as long as I can in those scenarios in case I just want to get a timeout for for pure rest, right? Maybe
Yeah.
just to talk to them, but also just get them off their feet for a minute, minute 30, whatever the timeout scenario is. And sometimes I'll burn one of those just for that reason.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thanks, guys.